I was standing inside the small bridal room holding a brown envelope with my hand shaking, and the only thing in my head was that my whole wedding was about to scatter. My legs were weak, my chest was hot, and I kept asking myself how a secret like this could hide inside a place full of music, laughter, bright clothes, and people dancing as if nothing bad could ever happen. I did not know if I should cry, shout, or just run away from the whole hall. That envelope felt heavier than a brick in my hand, and I knew that once I opened it, my life would not be the same again. But before all this, before my hand started shaking like that, the day had looked perfect. I remember how the sun shined that morning as if it wanted to bless me. I remember how my makeup artist kept telling me to smile more because the camera loved my face. My sisters were running around trying to arrange things, and everybody was calling my name every minute. My mother kept touching my shoulder and saying she was proud of me. Everybody was happy, and I was happy too. Or at least I thought I was. When we reached the reception hall, people were shouting my name and clapping. The place was full, and everything was fine until the moment I sat down on the high table beside my husband Jide. The MC was making jokes, the dancers were performing, and people were spraying money everywhere. I was smiling, even though my cheeks were already tired. But in the middle of all that noise, my eyes caught something small sliding under my chair. At first, I thought it was money that fell from someone's hand. When I bent down and picked it up, I saw it was a tiny brown envelope. It did not look like something meant for me, so I turned my head to check where it came from. That was when I saw Kunle, the best man, standing close to Jide and looking somehow uncomfortable. I watched him touch his chest pocket like someone searching for something he lost. I did not know why, but something inside me told me that this envelope was not ordinary. I hid it inside my purse and pretended nothing happened, but my heart was already beating fast. The music suddenly sounded far away, like I was inside water. I kept looking at Jide's face, and he kept laughing like everything was normal. That was what scared me the most. If something was wrong, why did he look so peaceful? I could not sit still anymore. I told one of my cousins that I wanted to go to the bridal room to fix my makeup. As soon as I entered the room and closed the door, I held the envelope and just stared at it. A part of me wanted to drop it and walk away, but another part of me knew that I needed to see whatever was inside. I took a deep breath and started to tear it open, and that was when my whole body started shaking the way you saw at the beginning. I knew the truth was coming, and I knew it was going to hit me hard. I opened the envelope slowly, because a part of me was already afraid of whatever I was about to see. When the papers finally slipped out, my heart dropped. The first thing that hit my eyes was a transfer receipt, then another one, and another one. All of them were from Kunle's account to a woman's name I had never heard in my life. I tried to understand it, but my brain was moving slow, like it was refusing to accept what my eyes were seeing. Then I saw a small folded paper inside. I opened it, and my whole body became cold. It was a short letter. The handwriting was rough, like the person wrote it in a hurry or with fear. It said that today was the day Jide had promised to tell me the truth. The writer said they were tired of hiding, and that if Jide refused to talk, then they would tell me themselves. They wrote that I deserved to know what was going on before starting a marriage. That was when my fingers began to shake for real, not because of the letter, but because of the picture that fell out from behind it. A small baby girl, maybe 1 year old, with big round eyes and a smile that looked too familiar. I stared at the picture until I felt my chest burning. The child had Jide's eyes, the same eyes he used to look at me the first day he told me he loved me. My legs started to feel weak, and I sat on the chair in the bridal room, just staring. I felt like the room was spinning around me. I couldn't understand how a child like this could exist and nobody told me. I remembered all the moments Jide had said he was busy, all the nights he slept early, all the times he told me Kunle was handling something for him. I remembered how Kunle kept acting strange that morning, how he couldn't look me straight in the eye. Every memory started joining together like pieces of a puzzle, and the picture it formed scared me. I wanted to cry, but my tears refused to come out. I wanted to shout, but my voice stayed inside my throat. I just sat there, breathing hard and feeling something inside me break very slowly. The worst part was that nobody in the hall knew what was happening behind the closed door. They were dancing, eating, laughing, while my whole life was folding itself like paper in my hands. After some minutes, I stood up and cleaned my face with my palm. I told myself I needed to hear from them. I needed to look both Jide and Kunle in the eye and ask them what they had done to me. I took the envelope and walked back to the corridor. My steps were slow but strong. I felt like someone carrying fire in her chest. I called Jide first. He came with a smile, thinking I wanted to take pictures. When he saw my face, the smile died slowly. I told him to call Kunle, and when the two of them stood in front of me, I placed the envelope between us. The confusion on Jide's face, the fear on Kunle's face, and the anger rising in my own body told me that everything was about to change. And I could feel it very clearly, like a wound that had finally opened. Jide picked up the envelope with shaking hands, and I watched his eyes move from one paper to another. The moment he saw the picture of the child, his lips parted like someone who just swallowed hot water by mistake. He did not speak at first. He just stared at the picture, then stared at me, then looked at the floor as if the tiles could save him. Kunle stood beside him, not saying a word, his head bent like a boy waiting for punishment. The silence between the three of us felt heavier than the whole hall outside. I asked Jide who the child was. My voice was calm, but it was the kind of calm that scares even the person talking. He finally lifted his head, and I saw fear sitting in his eyes. He said he wanted to tell me many times, that it happened before our relationship became serious, that he kept planning the right moment, but fear kept holding his mouth. He said the mother of the child started threatening to expose him, and that Kunle was only trying to help him settle things. He kept talking fast, like someone trying to stop a pot of water from spilling. But the more he talked, the more my anger climbed. I asked him why he did not trust me enough to tell me, why he thought hiding a child was better than being honest. He had no answer for that part. He only kept shaking his head and begging me to believe he never meant to hurt me. The words sounded empty. They sounded like something anyone would say when they were caught in a lie that grew too big. Kunle finally spoke. He said he had been pushing Jide for months to tell me the truth. He said he was tired of carrying secrets that did not belong to him. He said he brought the envelope because he wanted everything to end that day, one way or another. He looked at me with eyes full of apology, but all I could see was betrayal. The two men I trusted most on that stage had carried a truth behind my back, and they let me walk into marriage without it. My legs felt weak, but my anger held me upright. I told both of them that what hurt me was not even the child. Children are innocent. What hurt me was the silence, the planning, the way they stood beside me smiling, knowing what they hid. I told them it was wickedness to let me wear that white dress, dance in front of cameras, and make vows while holding secrets like this behind their backs. Jide reached for my hand, but I stepped away. The movement shocked him. It shocked me too. I had never pulled away from him before. I told him I needed time, and I walked away from both of them. My dress dragged behind me on the corridor floor, but I did not care. I felt tears burning my eyes, but they still refused to fall. Everything inside me was tight, heavy, painful. When I stepped back into the hall, the music hit my ears again. People were still laughing. People were still dancing. The world kept moving, like nothing had happened. I sat quietly at the high table, staring at the bright lights, wondering how a day that started with joy could flip so fast. And then, as I watched Jide from across the hall, a new fear rose inside me. I did not know if our marriage would survive this. I did not even know if I wanted it to. I only knew one thing. Whatever happened next, I would not let anyone treat my life like a secret again. I sat at the high table pretending to smile whenever someone faced me with a camera, but inside my mind, everything was breaking like dry sticks under pressure. Jide stayed on his side of the stage, trying to act normal so people would not suspect anything. Kunle kept pacing around like someone being chased by guilt. But my own body felt like it was carrying a stone inside my chest. Every drumbeat from the speakers sounded like thunder inside my ears. Whenever someone shouted my name from the crowd, It felt like they were calling a stranger, not me. After some time, the MC called us for the couple dance. Everyone shouted and clapped, expecting us to walk hand in hand to the center of the hall. Jide moved closer to me and tried to hold my hand, but I pulled my fingers back before he could touch me. I saw the shock on his face, but I did not care. I walked to the dance floor alone, letting the whole hall wonder why the bride reached first. When he joined me, the music started, but I stood still. He put his hand on my waist, and even though I did not push him, I did not respond either. We moved slowly, two people dancing for a crowd, not for each other. As we turned, I saw his parents watching with worried eyes. I saw my mother whisper something to my father. I saw Kunle standing at the corner, wetting his lips over and over like someone swallowing fear. The entire hall looked bright and happy, but under those lights, I felt like I was drowning quietly while everyone clapped. When the dance ended, the MC asked us to make a short thank you speech. My heart almost stopped. I knew Jide expected to speak first, but something inside me pushed me forward. I walked to the microphone before he even took a step. People cheered, thinking I wanted to joke or say something sweet. But when I opened my mouth, the whole hall became quiet little by little, like they sensed that whatever I was about to say was not the usual wedding talk. I told them that marriages need truth more than they need music or fine decorations. I said people can forgive mistakes, but lies have a way of sitting like stones inside the heart. I said starting a new life with someone requires honesty, not secrets that grow quietly until they destroy everything in their way. I spoke slowly, clearly, so that everyone would hear each word. Nobody understood what I meant, but the message hit Jide like a slap. I could see it on his face. I did not mention the child. I did not mention the envelope. I did not mention betrayal. But the weight of my voice carried all of it. When I dropped the microphone, the hall clapped softly, confused but respectful. I walked back to my seat and kept my face straight, even though my hands were shaking. After the speech, nothing felt normal again. Jide tried to come close to whisper something, but I leaned away. People around us acted like everything was fine, but those paying attention knew something was wrong. My sister squeezed my hand under the table, and I think she wanted to ask questions, but she kept quiet. As the night continued, I watched Jide from the corner of my eye. He looked like someone who had lost his balance and was trying to hold himself up before falling. I could see guilt hanging on him like sweat. I could see fear hiding behind his smile. And somewhere inside me, a heavy thought began to grow. If this lie could hide until my wedding day, then maybe I had never truly known the man I married. Maybe everything I believed was safe and strong was just a story I told myself. By the time the DJ announced the last dance, I knew deep down that after tonight, nothing between us would remain the same. When the last guests started leaving the hall, I felt relief wash over me like cool water. The music was softer now, people were tired, and the hall that once looked full and bright began to empty slowly. I watched the chairs, the plates, the wrappers of small chops on the floor, and I felt like the whole day had been a dream that refused to end. Jide walked toward me with careful steps, like someone approaching a wounded animal. He asked if we could talk, but I told him to wait until we reached somewhere quiet. I did not want people watching us or guessing what was wrong. We stepped outside into the compound where the night breeze was blowing gently. Cars were moving, people were laughing far away, but where we stood, everything felt still. I faced him, holding my dress so it would not drag on the ground. I asked him to tell me the full truth without hiding anything. He looked tired, like someone carrying a load that had been heavy for too long. He explained everything from the beginning, how the relationship with the other woman had ended long before he met me, how he did not even know about the child until months later, how he panicked because he did not want to lose me. He said he tried many times to talk, but each time he planned it, he got scared. He said he kept thinking he would tell me tomorrow, then another tomorrow, then another one, until tomorrow turned into our wedding day. He said he knew he was wrong and that he accepted whatever decision I wanted to take. His voice was shaky, and for the first time since everything happened, I saw tears gather in his eyes. Not the kind people use to manipulate, but the kind that comes from someone who has finally run out of lies to hide behind. I listened quietly because even though his words pained me, I needed to hear them. I needed everything clear in my mind before making any choice. I told him that what broke me was not the child. The child was innocent. What broke me was waking up on my wedding day thinking I knew the man I was marrying, only to discover that the truth was bigger than anything he ever told me. I told him trust is like a pot. If you crack it, you can mend it, but the lines will always remain. I asked him if he understood that I needed to protect my heart first before anything else. We stood there for a long time without talking. The breeze carried the smell of food and dust from the road. A few people walked past us, but they did not stop. It felt like the world had continued its journey without caring what was happening to me. After some minutes, I told him I was not signing the final marriage papers that night. I said I needed time, real time, away from noise, away from shame, away from pressure. I needed to decide with a clear head, not with a broken heart. He nodded slowly, wiping his face with his hand. He said he understood. He said he would wait. When I walked back into the hall to collect my things, some of my family members looked at me with questions in their eyes, but I ignored all of them. I removed my veil and placed it gently in my sister's hand. She held it like she knew it carried pain, not just cloth. I removed my shoes and walked barefoot to the car because I was tired of pretending to be a perfect bride. When I reached home, I sat on my bed in my wedding dress, staring at the brown envelope. The picture of the baby girl was lying on top of the papers. Her smile was small and innocent, and when I looked at her eyes again, I felt something inside me soften. None of this was her fault. None of this was her burden. I placed the picture on my palm and whispered softly that she was not the problem. She was just a child trying to live. As I sat there, tired but awake, broken but breathing, I knew this was the start of a new chapter for me. I did not know if my marriage would survive. I did not know if love would be enough to fix what had cracked. But I knew one thing for sure. Whatever decision I took after that night, it would be based on truth, not fear. And for the first time since the envelope fell, I felt a small strength rising inside me, guiding me toward whatever tomorrow would bring.